In the world of extreme wealth and power, secrets don't disappear. They are buried, hidden behind private jets, luxury mansions, and elite connections. One name would eventually expose just how dark that world could be. That name was Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was not a celebrity. He was not a politician. Yet somehow, he moved freely among the most powerful people on earth. Presidents, royalty, billionaires, people who controlled money, laws, and influence knew him. But behind the image of a wealthy financier was a disturbing truth. Epstein owned a private Caribbean island known as Little St. James. From the outside, it looked like paradise. Palm trees, white beaches, crystal clear water. But survivors would later describe it as a place of fear, abuse, and silence. According to court records and sworn testimonies, Epstein ran a sex trafficking operation involving underage girls. Many victims said they were recruited with promises of money, education, or modeling opportunities. What they walked into instead was exploitation. Private jets, later nicknamed the Lolita Express by the media, flew regularly. Flight logs showed trips between Epstein's mansions in New York, Florida, New Mexico, Paris, and his private island. For years, reports were ignored. In 2008, Epstein was arrested in Florida. But instead of facing serious punishment, he received a secret plea deal. He served just 13 months, with permission to leave jail for hours a day. This deal would later be called one of the greatest failures of the U.S. justice system. Victims were never properly informed. Epstein walked free again, rich, powerful, and protected. But in 2019, everything changed. Federal prosecutors arrested Epstein on charges of sex trafficking of minors. This time, there would be no deal. The world finally began to pay attention. Then, suddenly, Epstein was dead. On August 10, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was found, unresponsive in his jail cell. Authorities ruled his death a suicide. But broken cameras, sleeping guards, and unanswered questions fueled global suspicion. Epstein was gone, but his secrets were not. What was hidden inside his files would shake the world. After Jeffrey Epstein's death, many believed the truth had died with him. They were wrong. In the years that followed, thousands of pages of court documents, testimonies, emails, and flight logs were released. Together, they became known as the Epstein Files. These documents did not automatically prove crimes, but they revealed something deeply unsettling: how close Epstein was to power. The files contain the names of politicians, business tycoons, celebrities, and royalty. Some were confirmed social acquaintances. Some denied knowing him well. Others refused to comment at all. One of the most talked about figures was former U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump and Epstein were photographed together in the 1990s, attending social events in New York and Florida. Trump later stated that he knew Epstein socially, but cut ties long before Epstein's arrest. Importantly, no criminal charges have ever been filed against Trump in connection with Epstein, and he has publicly denied any involvement. This distinction is critical. Being mentioned in documents or appearing in photographs does not mean guilt. Legal experts emphasize that many names appeared simply because Epstein actively sought proximity to powerful people. Influence was his shield. Some individuals cooperated with investigations. Others were never accused. And some names remain controversial, not because of evidence, but because of speculation. What made Epstein dangerous was not just his crimes. It was the system that allowed him to operate for decades. Money bought silence. Connections bought protection. And victims were ignored. Prosecutors who tried to stop him were blocked. Journalists who investigated him were threatened. Survivors were paid to stay quiet. Only after his death did the full scale of the failure become undeniable. To this day, many questions remain unanswered. Who helped Epstein? Why was he protected for so long? And why have so few faced consequences? The Epstein Files do not give us every answer, but they expose a frightening truth. When power protects itself, justice becomes optional. Jeffrey Epstein is gone, but the system that protected him still exists. And until truth matters more than influence, his story can happen again.